December. And it was made a national holiday by the secretaries of state of all of those states, all 50 states. So this is a huge thing, and it's a huge effort. And since 2012, when this first started, we have registered 1.6 million people on National Voter Registration Day. So that's pretty huge. Last year was a little slower because it was, an off election, but they filled out over 100,000 registration forms. People changed their addresses and things like that. We here at the League spoke to over 500 people last year at the voter registration table. So even though the numbers of people that we registered weren't like astronomical, we talked to them about how to find out who's running for office, or how to get an absentee ballot, all kinds of questions that people had. It was great visibility for the League, and it was really helpful for people to get them excited. And last year there were those 3 ballot initiatives on the back, and we talked to a lot of people about that, and they may have missed that had they not talked to us. So just because you're not registering 100 million voters on National Voter Registration Day, do not think that your time is wasted. Last year, there were 9,361 volunteers all over the nation doing this, with 2,851 partners. And Patty Garrett, you will like this, over 250 million social media impressions. So people were posting and talking about National Voter Registration Day. This year is going to be huge. People are excited. People know that they should register to vote, and already they just told us from the organization they have 3,500 partners, so that's up like 1,000 partners, and each partner is a group that, who knows, maybe has 60 volunteers, so it's growing. This is an important effort. I want to remind you that National Voter Registration Day is all about democracy. We want to give people a voice, but we can't tell them what to say. This is a nonpartisan effort. So we're trying to cut out all of that partisan stuff and just get people to do their civic responsibility and vote. So to that end, as you're sitting at the table, no matter what your politics, and on another day you can talk that, but while we're doing this day, and because it's a League event also, we don't talk about any candidate, we don't talk about any political party, so keep it just, how can we help you register? Here's how you can find out. Oh, by the way, go to the League of Women Voters website and find out where there are candidate forums or where your election polling place is. So we're going to give that kind of information out. Did you know that New York State is like 3rd in the nation for the number of people who donate organs, who are on the organ donation
From
list?
the bottom.
And it's really sad. There are over 9,500 people on the organ donor list in New York, and over 500 die every year. There's no organ. So in the past, we had a grant with the Donate Life program, and we got paid to have them come and talk to us about the organ donation program, and we also got a certain amount of money for any voter registration drive we had. And that used to make this whole endeavor revenue neutral. It paid for everything. But we don't have a grant anymore, but just because they're not giving us the money, I really think that it's the right thing to do for us to point out on the back of the voter registration forms that there is a place for people to become organ donors. And when you're working at your tables, I'm going to have these here for you. It's a little quote you can say to people. You also have the opportunity to help save the life of a New Yorker waiting for an organ transplant by filling out the back of the voter registration form. So we have that, and we also have Donate Life, Donate and vote forms that they can do if they're not filling out a voter registration form. So those are two things that I want you to keep in mind. At each table, when you get to your registration site, you're going to have a nifty bag. And the Donate Life people gave us these bags, which was great. And inside the bag, there's going to be a tablecloth. Some of you, the tables are going to be set up, but others of you, you're going to be setting them up yourselves. There's going to be this little stand, and it has information about the general election and also websites for them to go and all the dates that the cutoff dates for when they need to have their absentee ballot in, all of those things. So if you're talking to somebody and you don't have them memorized, you can just refer to this easily, or people can look at it on their own. And this year we added something. It's www.vote.org, and that's for people who are out of state. If they want to register or apply for an absentee ballot, they can go to that website, and we can just refer them to that if we can't help them. Now, people who are going to be at Skidmore, it's pretty exciting this year. They're doing a full court press, and the guy who I work with there, who helps us set up a table in the Case Center, he has reserved all the tables. And our table is going to have the League of Women Voters, and we're going to be there helping New York State residents with their making sure they're registered to vote or applying for an absentee ballot, whatever. And then at the other tables, there are going to be students, and they're going to have their laptops, and they're going to be helping all the people who are out of state. So that kind of took us that off of our plate, which is great. And it's good to have the students involved. So what else we have in here is, just like last year, we had these lovely sashes and with buttons, and we're encouraging people to wear white shirts, and then we wear these League of Women Voters Votes for Women sashes. So please do that. Now, if you're a guy and you don't want to wear the sash, just wear a white shirt and we'll look kind of professional there. And wear a button, yes. There's going to be buttons inside, and so you can use these buttons to secure the sash on, and then just make sure that you leave them for the next people who are taking over after you. We've got stickers. You all got a sticker, but we have stickers to give out. We have plenty of those. And this plastic bag is we've got pens. This is that every vote counts, every donor counts form I was telling you about that you can give to people, and it has information about becoming an organ donor. And then we have registration forms. Some, if you notice, are stamped with Saratoga County, and others are not. So you'll want to ask people if they live in Saratoga County or not, so we know where to have those addressed. The other thing you're going to find is, just like on your table, it has the roster of who you're working with. It has their contact information. So say you're going to be running late. This is something that you may want to print out. I'll send it to everybody. You might be able to call and tell them, hey, I'm running late, but I'm coming, or, sorry. And then there's also my contact information and Kathy Begay's contact information in case you're running out of forms or anything like that. You'll give us a call. And at the top, there's usually somebody in the building that can help you. And the Board of Elections is on here too if you have a specific question for the Board of Elections. Then we have these tally sheets that we ask you to keep track. They're inside those blue books too. And it's just, we'll ask you to keep track of how many forms were taken, how many turned back in, all of those things, absentee, and just might use hash marks. And that way the people next time when they come in, they can just keep going on the hash marks, and we'll figure it all out at the end. New this year, I guess I should talk to you about these booklets. Inside the booklet, there's information, and Janice, you're going to go over what's in the booklet, right? Yeah, I thought you were.
Oh, okay.
Well, it has deadlines, and it has where all the Board of Elections are in the different counties, and it also has, like frequently asked questions by college students and people with disabilities, things like that. So when you get there, you might want to look this over, okay? New this year, we have I Pledge to Vote cards and badges. Now, this is one of the badges. And these are the little business cards that we can give people. And it just, they can write down their name on it and they can stick it in their wallet or whatever, and it has Saratoga County information, League of Women Voters information. And then we have these forms that we're going to ask them to fill out, which they can give us their name and phone number or address, and we will follow up either with a text or with a phone call to remind them to vote on November 6th. So that's all that's in the bag. That's all I have to say right now, and Janice is going to talk to you about voter registration.
Karen, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Our
Karen.
at 7:30, do we pack everything up and put it back in the bag?
Yes, and who else is at the end at 7:30?
The two of us.
Right, and where are you?
Malta Library.
At the Malta Library, yes, and I think what we're, where do you live?
Clifton Park.
Oh, okay. Well, I think my husband, Steve, who is running the camera, we live right in Malta near the library. He's gonna come over at 7:30 and he'll pick up the bag from you. But yes, you'll close up that stuff. Some people are gonna be delivering bags to my house, and other places, either Kathy and I are showing up. We've got a schedule, but we didn't have that one taken care of, so thank you for asking. Okay, Janice.
This is the voter registration form. They're self-explanatory, but you never know. People have questions. You start at the top and they start filling in each section. It tells you a little bit across the top how to do it, what's required. And in the notebook, or in the file, there are expanded answers. So if you have a question that you can't answer from here, check in the book. There are several pages of information on, I'll show you, if you're a college student, like for your people at SUNY Adirondack and Skidmore, if you have someone with a disability, are they able to vote? Yes, they are. So we'll take care of that also. So you just go through the form. It's not that hard. It takes about 2 minutes for most people. And when you get down to identification, it says you must make one selection. It's either your license number or the last 4 digits of your social security number. That's all. You don't have to memorize your license number. They don't have to know or drag their license out. It's one or the other. That's usually the most confusing for people, but it's very, or you don't have it. If you don't have it, then you go to the top where it says for verifying your identity, and you can use a valid photo ID, a current utility bill, bank statement, paycheck, government check, or some other government document. They can use a copy of that. If they're really confused about it, give them the form and tell them to contact the Board of Elections. You don't take it on yourself to verify anything if it's a real issue. Just take it to the Board of Elections, and they will answer their questions. Does anybody have any questions about this side of the form? Yes.
Did you say that for the DMV number, if they don't have it, they don't have to write it in, they just check it?
No, they check the one that they're going to write down. So if they don't know their license number, don't check that. Just check the one for the last 4 digits of your social security number, and then put the last 4 digits, because most people know that if they have one. Like I have to go, you know. But no, you just check the answers that you're leaving. You don't check them all. Oh, yep,
Where it says, if you don't have a DMV or social security number, you have to provide these other things, and it says you may include a copy of one of those. Are we supposed to make a copy of things? Is it
that's not our department, that would be their department. So that's why I would say give them the form, and you could point that out to them, give them the form and say, provide the information with your form. You can fold it together, but make sure they tape the edges so whatever they're sending doesn't fall outside. Because this folds like this, and then it seals on the top, but not on the sides. So if someone's including something, have them put a piece of tape on it.
So they don't have that, they bring their utility bill. We're going to tell them, fill this out.
Yes.
Fill it real inside.
A copy of it, yeah, or an old one, but just something like that. But yeah, that would be their responsibility, not us. Yes.
Well, I was just saying, since some of us are at libraries where they have copiers, they could just
Sure.
go copy it. So are we going to have scotch tape in our bag too that we can take?
I don't know, that would be Kathy's.
That's possible. We can give them scotch tape, or the library would probably let you use some scotch tape because they're the ones who said we could come there. So I would think they would be,
So now I have a question. Of all the people who have done voter registration in the last 15 years or so, has that ever come up?
Are we collecting these when people have filled them out, or they may?
yes.
Yes, we will collect them if they want us to. If they want to just take them home and mail them themselves, they can do that. But we will collect them and deliver them to the Board of Elections. I'm not sure if that's.
Well, yes, and what you're going to do is you'll keep a pile in your bag of all of the ones that have been filled out. And then the next day, we're going to compile all of these and bring them down to the Board of Elections. So just
And-
keep them safe.
My experience is, that question never came up, but if it did, they're not likely to have their bill with
Right,
them
right.
for copying purposes and tape and all
Right.
that. So let's keep things simple. It's
Give them
their
the form.
responsibility to do that part.
If they're not in Saratoga County, you've got the blank form, you can just on the back point out which county they're in and tell them this is the address to mail it to.
So
You're right.
we will mail them for them.
We will mail them, for people who want, if they're a different county, we will do that. Yeah, we'll mail them to a different county. But for the people who have the extra paperwork, try to get them to take it with them.
I've never done this before, and I'm a little bit confused. So if someone lives in Saratoga County, has a choice to see this registration, or have an absentee ballot?
An absentee ballot where they live.
And so they would only mail this to Saratoga County if they wanted to vote in Saratoga County.
Yes. If they're going to register and vote in Saratoga County, it would come to Saratoga County. If they want to register to vote in the county where they're living, where they're from, you would use the blank form. And,
No, they
no,
have
not
to
that.
register first.
The
No.
one that doesn't have this, the Saratoga County.
It'll be in the bag. There'll be 2 piles in each bag.
Oh, Adderall.
Some are pre-printed for Saratoga County and the rest are blank. There's no address already printed on them. So then they would just fill in the county that they want to register in. So if they want to register at home, we will fill out the form, put the date, put the right address on the front of it.
So
We
they
will,
don't have to do absentee ballot.
not if they're going to register at home,
But if they're already registered.
but if they're already registered,
They get it.
they get an absentee ballot application. They can do that, yes.
I was wondering, do you want to do the whole training first and then let people
Well,
ask questions? Or
I'm pretty much done with it, except for the donate life part of the back. And then I will. Yes. The next part is the absentee ballot application. If people are going to be out of the county, or out of the county that they live in, and they want to vote, they need to fill out an absentee ballot application, and that's what this is. This has to go to the Board of Elections that they live in. To get an absentee ballot, you need to already be registered. You can do them both at the same time because there is a spot on this form at the bottom, it says, I need to apply for an absentee ballot. So when they're registering, if they know they're going to need an absentee ballot, way down at the bottom, you can check that, and they will automatically get the application in the mail. And there's also a spot to check, I would like to be an election day worker. And you can encourage people to do that. They're really excited about voting.
Yes.
Okay.
The form, the New York State absentee ballot application that I have has Saratoga County Board of
It does.
Elections.
Yes.
Do we use this?
You can use it, just scratch that out and tell them to use the address,
That's on here.
that the county that they're from, that's on here. What we've been able to get from the Saratoga County Board of Elections are only pre-printed ones.
Correct.
Correct. So, I'm getting there. I'm trying to finish the training first, okay? Be very careful filling this out because there are places where they can check whether they want just for this one election, all elections. If they are handicapped or disabled in any way, they can get a permanent absentee ballot application, and it'll just be on file, and so then they don't have to do one for every election. They'll automatically be getting the ballot in the mail. And make sure they sign and date everything on the bottom. And the other thing to make sure people understand when they're filling this out, to enroll in a party, the parties that we have in New York, one of them is the Independence Party. That is an official party, political party in the state of New York. If you sign to be a member of the Independence Party, you'll be allowed to vote in their primary. You are not an independent voter. Independent would be other, or you don't sign, you don't click, you don't check anything at all.
Or no party.
Right, or no party, sorry. I had my thumb over it. So just make sure that if they just say, I'm an independent voter, but I want to check into this independent party, it's like, no. And you might need to figure out with them, what do you mean by an independent voter? Well, I don't want to be in any party. Then you click no party. That's, okay, now I'll open up for questions. Go for
So
it.
similar to the registration form where we will mail it for them, the absentee ballot, will we mail that?
Yes, we can do, we'll drop it off at the Board of Elections, because we'll have so many of them, we aren't going to mail them.
And so, does the, this is the actual absentee ballot, okay, so they would have to scratch that
Right.
thing and then we would mail it.
Yeah. And if they just write what county they're from, we can figure out. You know, they don't have to fill out the whole address, it helps, but we're going to have to put it in an envelope on it anyway, so, okay.
Do you know of a spot you can check to see if you have already signed up for an absentee ballot? So I think there were like some quick link type things to do that for college students when you're away. And I just wanted, if there's a way to verify that you have
An absentee ballot.
coming to you.
I think they could check with the Board of Elections in the county that, like for a college student,
Yeah,
check with the Board of Elections where they live.
okay.
And I'm pretty sure they all have an online presence, so they would just have to find the county, the Board of Elections in whatever county they're from. And if they can't get the answer online, there's a phone number and have them call.
Or if they've done an absentee ballot, can they change their registration to vote where they are going to school? Or when
I don't know the answer to that. Does anybody else know?
Well, what I would think that they would do is fill out, if they're a student from another state, that's
No,
something
within
that
New
they're
York
gonna,
State.
if
In
it's
New
New
York
York
State.
State, I would think that they could use the New York State voter registration form and do the change of address portion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if they're going to register, they have to use this to change the registration.
Okay.
They have to use this to make, oops.
And do you want to go over that, because sometimes that's confusing for people, Janice, about changing their,
Oh, sure.
changing their address.
Okay, should I answer any more questions first? Any more questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking at this table. So students, when they register to vote, do they have an option of registering in their home county? Or can they instead register in Saratoga?
You mean on campus,
Yeah,
on National Voter Registration Day? They do,
okay.
but they will have to go to the table. Or-
Ask that question, you're talking about New York State residents or out of this,
Well, why don't we talk about New York State?
Okay. New York State, they would have to register using this form, and it would be mailed to the county, the address that they put on here, where they want to vote.
I think she's asking, do they have the option of either registering in Saratoga County or in their home?
Yes, they do.
Right.
Yes, that's the law in this state, yes. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
So, I mean, their address at college is a valid address then?
Yes, it is in New York State.
however, they have to use their dorm room address.
Right.
They can't use 805 North Broadway or whatever it is. They have to use their physical address that they have.
Right, and that, you have to, whoever Skidmore is that this, okay. That needs to be made very clear to all the students, they have to use their dorm address. If they're off campus, they just use their street address. Right, but if they're on campus, it's their dormitory, not 850 North Broadway, because that won't get to them. Tonight.
There's some more.
Okay, Patty's pointing to somebody, but I don't know who. Okay.
Who signs the witness section at the very bottom of the
The
absentee?
person filling out the form signs and dates it. Oh, on the, that is for if you have someone else signing for you. We don't have to do anything with that. That's, okay. I had that same question the first time I saw that. What? Okay, so the filling out your address where you live. The first section is the address where you live. If you get your mail in a P.O. box, you have to fill that in, because that's where your mail will go from the Board of Elections. So they want both, because the address where you live determines what voting district you're in.
That's number 8.
That's number 8. Number 9 is the address where you receive mail. That's where the postcard will go telling you where to vote and when to vote.
So, do they put their P.O. box, if they have a P.O. box or their dorm room?
For colleges, it's the dorm number, the dorm room,
If they have a P.O. box.
the dorm room. P.O. box is some people have post office boxes to get their mail out, as opposed to their physical.
But you can put the dorm in the address where you live, and then a P.O. box
Where they
in the P.O. box, and then where you get your mail.
They're gonna make a mail and you might get it at the P.O. box.
It's been so long since I went to Skidmore to do this, I don't remember the answer.
Well, I would think that the address they live is the physical dorm room. And then the address where they receive their mail is whatever they get, however they get mail.
Right.
If they get mail, the students, they're not going to have mail. They should know that, they should have a.
Well, if they want to vote, they're going to have to know, well, if they're on campus, they know they're going to vote on campus. If they're off campus, they're going to want to know where they're going to vote off campus, so they do have to fill out where you live. If they're off campus, they don't have to put in the box number, because that would be confusing to people.
Yes, because it says skip if it's the same as.
Right.
If someone comes up and says, I moved and I need to change my address,
Correct.
just have them fill this out?
It has to be filled, the entire form has to be filled out. Well, yeah, you should just have them redo the whole form, because if they move, they have to re-register.
Okay.
And they have to fill out the number 12 section there that says voting
Voting,
information
right.
that has changed. And that's where, like say they got married, they would change to their married name, or if what their address used to be. So that way, the Board of Elections is going to notify that Board of Elections and say, hey, they're off the rolls now, now they're registered here.
And they will get information about where they vote.
They will get a postcard within a couple of weeks telling them where to vote, where to go.
So line 12, the last line is, which would be state or New York State, that covers everybody. So
it's at 78 now.
Change address, be at your table, and this form is
Yes.
The max.
Yep, I saw it too.
If somebody comes and says, I don't know if I'm registered, I don't know if I'm registered, is there any way to set?
If they have a phone that has internet capability, or if you want to do it with your phone, you can go to the Board of Elections, and there is a spot on both the state and most county Board of Election sites where you can check to see if you're registered.
There's a
Yes.
link, there's a link on our website.
And your birthday. Yeah.
You need your, I've got it here.
Okay,
And it
Nicole.
says that you need your name, your date of birth, your county and your zip code.
So it's name, address, county, and zip code. And you can check, you'll be able to check. So you can provide that service for them if you have time, or you can just tell them, go to the Board of Elections, and there'll be a spot. Hopefully it'll be right on the home page when you get there, the first thing. Yeah, that's it, okay.
I think in Skidmore, the students at the adjacent table offering to help the students.
Okay.
wanting to figure
Yeah,
out
that would be good, yeah, that's good. Yes,
If they're not sure they're registered, is there a problem with filling out a
if what?
If they're not sure that they're registered, is there a problem if they fill out a new form? Or just
No, there's no problem whatsoever. They can fill out the form, they can fill out as many as they want. But no, they could just fill one out and be done with it that way, and then they would be registered.
In the voting history, question 10 and 11, that can be in any state, right? So
Yep.
it's not a New York
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. And so, and what we've learned, or what I've learned, is when it says what year, don't worry about it. It's not that big an issue. Like, they just want to know that you voted and they kind of remember. Because some people only vote in the presidential election, so.
I want to make a comment about this little piece that I said would be on each of, you're going to have one of these, and it says, yeah.
It says right up here, if they go to the lwv.saratoga.org, it is one-stop shop in there. We have a thing under the voting section that they can check to see if they're registered or not, and it'll pop right up. And they also, there's a little button that says electronic voter guide. And if they click that after these primaries, which the primaries are going to be over, as we're getting closer to election day, it will tell them all the races that are in the area that they're going to be and who are the candidates, and hopefully a little blurb about what each candidate stands for. So it's one-stop shopping at the lwvsaratoga.org website.
That's information about local candidates.
That's all New York State.
All New York State, but not California, not.
Right, yeah.
Again, college.
Right, I think they could go to vote.org, you know, or they could go to the League of Women Voters in the county that they are voting from, again, or the state.
Okay, thank you.
Plug the league. We do good stuff.
Yes, Ann wants
Ann.
to talk about
Oh.
badges and things.
Oh, sure.
If you have any other questions, I'll be here.
I'm sorry, I need to put in this little blurb in encouraging you to give out the I Pledge to Vote cards. This is a new thing for our league, and it is called Get Out the Vote, okay? And so the cards are going to be in two formats, and I think I'm encouraging for you to use the business card size. Why? Because they're easier, they can put them in their wallet. The name badge, they can put in their wallet too, but it comes with a plastic pin-on badge. So if they want to wear it, they can wear it again and again, because it's not a stick-on thing you're going to tear off and throw away. But again, okay, so for example, you're sitting there and the students are whizzing by, which is my experience last year, and you're having trouble getting their attention. registered, oh yeah, I'm good, oh yeah, I'm good, and they're on their way to class or they're off to something else. But do you know the information? Do you know the information for your candidates? Would you like a I Pledge to Vote card? Sure. And would you give me your information so I can call you to remind you? Yes. So you're going to have a list there, and if they want to do it, fine. If they don't, but it's going to take some effort on your part. And this is not something you're going to do if there's a line of people who want to register to vote. But if there's nothing going on, hey, get these I Pledge to Vote cards out there. Let's get people out to vote. And I think they want to do this. The people that I've asked, yeah, I'm registered. Oh, sure, I'll take a Pledge to Vote card. And get their information and make sure we keep the list. Because some of us are going to make those calls. Okay? It's a promise from us to them. Thanks.
And they're in there. They're right in your blue booklet. You're going to have these in your very handy bag. And I guess you could put together, maybe I'll throw a few of these in that are put together, but they are a little cumbersome. The I Pledge to Vote cards are a lot easier to give out. And you can also tell them that the League of Women Voters website is on there, and that's where they can go to find out all the information they need about the upcoming elections, and also debates, candidate forums that are going to be coming up. So plug the league. All right, do we have any more questions?
So it's lwv.com?
No, it's lwvsaratoga.org.
Close. lwvsaratoga.org. And that's where they can go if they wanted to find out where their polling location is?
Yes, if they're in New York State. Yes.
You said early on that we keep a tally of something. What and where will we keep the tally?
Okay, there's this, I have all this stuff all over today. There's a sheet that's going to look like this, and it's going to be in the front section of your blue book, or in that blue book. All the things that you really need are in that blue book, or the voter registration forms are going to be clipped, separated by if they're Saratoga County or if they're not addressed. So, and this is it. You put the date, the name of the venue, and the questions are the number of voter registrations forms filled out, how many are taken, how many absentee ballot applications are taken, and we keep track of, oh, this is important, we keep track of the number of people that we talk to. And at the bottom, there's comments, what people are saying. And it's great, you get some really nice comments that people give to you. And I use those, and when I write the reports back to the venues that have done it, I let them know what the people said about that venue. So all of these things are really important, and it builds our reputation, and it just makes you feel good. Hopefully we don't get negative comments.
We don't write those down.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
It's just not reason.
Right. Are there any more questions? Linda?
Not a question, but just an aside that if we direct people to our website, they can also join the league on our website. It's very easy now, there's an online form, they can pay their dues, no mailing in forms.
Wow, we are-
Especially younger people, like you said, they don't get mail.
Right.
But they can join the league.
That's perfect. That cuts down on all the stuff we have to have, like voter,
Exactly.
the brochures and everything. We just tell them to go to the website and join. Yes?
Are we allowed to tell them when the candidate debates are?
Yes, but I don't know if we have that schedule yet.
Because the primary's not over yet.
Yeah, so we don't have to,
This is until the end of